Okay, we're now going to do some work with expansion of brackets. That's going to involve two terms and three terms in the bracket. So with FOIL method, that involved two brackets with two terms, but for this lesson it's going to be two terms and three terms. Now remember, for FOIL method we used the technique which was FOIL. So that was firsts, outsides, insides and lasts. Okay, we don't have that option with these ones, so it's going to be a different strategy. So just like for FOIL, we're going to justify that this strategy works. Okay, so let's say we had a bracket with 5 plus 3 in it and a bracket with 2 plus 5 plus 3 in it. Okay, so 5 plus 3 is 8 and 2 plus 5 plus 3 is 10. 8 times 10 is 80. I'm going to show you that there's an alternative way to get the same result. Okay, so with the bracket with 5 plus 3 and the bracket with 2 plus 5 plus 3. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the first term from the first bracket and multiply it by the first term in the second bracket. We're then going to get the first term in the first bracket and multiply it by the second term in the second bracket. We're then going to get the first term in the first bracket and multiply it by the third term in the second bracket. Okay, now we're going to take the second term in the first bracket and multiply it by the first term in the second bracket. And you can see that we're also adding as we go here. Now we're going to take the second term in the first bracket and multiply it with the second term in the second bracket. So that will be 3 times 5. And then finally we're going to take the second term in the second bracket and multiply it by the third term in the second bracket, and that will be 3 times 3. Okay, so the 5 times 2 will give me 10. The 5 times 5 will give me 25. The 5 threes will give me 15. The 3 times 2 will give me 6. 3 fives are 15, and finally 3 times 3 is 9. 10 plus 25 is 35. 35 plus 15 is 50. Get 56. 81, or rather 71 and 80, which is the same result that we got up here. Okay, so that technique works. Now that technique is as following. You get the first term in the first bracket, you multiply it by the first term in the second bracket, and then you add together the result of multiplying the first term by the second term, and then the first term by the third term. Then you go to the second term in the first bracket, you multiply that with the first term in the second bracket, and then you add and multiply together the second term by the second term in the second bracket, and then finally the second term by the third term, and then you just add everything up and you'll get the same result, which is 80. Now we're going to apply that now with some numbers and letters. Let's take down example 1, which is going to be x plus 5 bracket x squared plus 3x plus 1. Okay, so we're going to do the first term in the first bracket multiplied by the first term in the second bracket. So that's x times x squared, that's x cubed. And then it's x times 3x, and that is 3x squared. And then it's x times 1, which is 1x. We then go to the second term in the first bracket and multiply that by the first term in the second bracket. That's 5 times x squared, that's 5x squared. It's then 5 times 3x, 15x, and then it's 5 times 1, which is 5. So let's just go over that again. So you get the first term in the first bracket, multiply it by the first term there, x squared, and then multiply with the second term, 3x, and then multiply with the third term, 1. You then take the second term in the first bracket, you multiply that by the first term, x squared, and then multiply it by the second term, 3x, and then the third term, 5. And you add as you go, and then you would start to collect things together. Okay, so x cubes, and if I check, I've only got x cubed here, so that's x cubed. Okay, we'll be x squared, so I've got 3x squared and 5x squared, so that's 8x squared. I've got x, and I've got 15x, that's 16x, and then finally I've got plus 5, final answer. Okay, let's take down example 2. X plus 6 bracket x squared plus 3x plus 9. Okay, so x times x squared, x cubed, x times 3x, 3x squared, x times 9, 9x, 6 times x squared, 6x squared, 6 times 3x, 18x, 6 times 9, that's 54. Okay, so I've got x cubed, I've got 3x squared, and 6x squared is 9x squared. I've got 9x and 18x is 27x. And finally, plus 54. Okay, example 3, t plus 5 bracket t squared plus 7t plus 1. T times t squared, t cubed, t times 7t, 7t squared. T times 1 is t. 5 times t squared, 5t squared. 5 times 7t, 35t. And 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, so I've got t cubed, 7t squared, and 5t squared is 10t squared. T and 35t is 36t. And then I've got plus 5, final answer. Okay, example 4, p plus 5 bracket 2p squared plus 4p plus 7. Okay, slight extra dimension here, I've put a 2 in front here. That's still easy. P times 2p squared, 2p cubed. P times 4p, 4p squared. P times 7, 7p. 5 times 2p squared, 10p squared. 5 times 4p, 20p, and 5 times 7, 35. Okay, 2p cubed, I've got 4p squared and 10p squared is 14p squared. I've got 7p and 20p is 27p. And finally, plus 35, final answer. Okay, example 5, I've got 3t plus 1 bracket 2t squared plus 5t plus 6. Okay, 3t times 2t squared, 6t cubed. So 3 times 2 is 6, and t times t squared is t cubed. 3t times 5t, 15t squared. 3 times 5 is 15, t times t is t squared. 3t times 6, 18t. 1 times 2t squared, 2t squared. 1 times 5t is 5t, and 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, so I've got 6t cubed, 15t squared plus 2t squared is 17t squared. I've got 18t and 5t is 23t, and then I've got plus 6 at the end. Example 6. Okay, 4t minus 1 bracket 2t squared minus 5t plus 3. Okay, so let's bring in some negatives in now. So 4t times 2t squared, 8t cubed. So 4 times 2 is 8, and t times t squared is t cubed. 4t times minus 5t, well 4t times 5t is 20t squared, but 4t times minus 5t is minus 20t squared. 4t times 3, 12t. Minus 1 times 2t squared, minus 2t squared. Minus 1 times minus 5t plus 5t. That's because a minus times a minus is a plus. And minus 1 times 3 is minus 3. Okay, so that's 8t cubed minus 20t squared. We're moving down another 2. So we're at minus 20, and moving down 2 would bring us down to minus 22. So that's minus 22t squared. 12t and 5t is 17t, and I've got a minus 3. Okay, example 7. X minus 9 bracket 5x squared minus 4x plus 7, x times 5x squared, 5x cubed, x times minus 4x squared, x times 7, 7x, minus 9 times 5x squared minus 45x squared, minus 9 times minus 4x plus 36x, and then minus 9 times 7 is minus 63. Okay, 5x cubed minus 4x squared minus 45x squared. So think about it, I'm on a number line, I'm moving down there, that's minus 49x squared. I then get 7x plus 36x is 43x and minus 63. Okay, let's take down example 8. Okay, example 8. 4n minus 3 bracket 3n squared minus 5n plus 9. Okay, 4n times 3n squared, 12n cubed. 4n times minus 5n minus 20n squared. 4n times 9, 36n. Minus 3 times 3n squared minus 9n squared. Minus 3 times minus 5n plus 15n. Minus 3 times 9 minus 27. Okay, so 12n cubed, I've got minus 20n squared. I'm then travelling down another 9, that'll bring me down, take your time, be careful, to minus 29n squared. 36n plus 15n is 51n, and then finally minus 27. Okay, example 9. 7 minus 3x bracket 4x squared minus 11 plus 6x. Okay, now things appear to be in a slightly different order here, but we should just follow the same method. Okay, so let's start with 7 times 4x squared, 28x squared. 7 times minus 11, minus 77. 7 times 6x, 42x. Minus 3x times 4x squared, minus 12x cubed. So where's that coming from again? Well, minus 3 times 4 is minus 12. And x times x squared is x cubed. Okay, minus 3x times minus 11 plus 33x plus, because it's minus times a minus, so minus 3x times minus 11 plus 33x. And then minus 3x times 6x minus 18x squared. Minus 3 times 6 minus 18, x times x, x squared. Okay, so let's collect things together. I've got minus 12x cubed. I've then got, well, there should be a slight correction here, which is 7 times 4x squared at the start. That should actually be 28x squared. Okay, so 28x squared, take away 18x squared is 10x squared. I've then got 42x and 33x, which is 75x and minus 77. Okay, let's try one more, example 10. 3 plus 5x bracket 2x minus x squared plus 7. Okay, 3 times 2x, 6x. 3 times minus x squared, minus 3x squared. 3 times 7, 21. 5x times 2x, 10x squared. 5x times minus x squared, minus 5x cubed. 5x times 7, 35x. Okay, so I've got minus 5x cubed. I've got minus 3x squared plus 10x squared. So I'm down at minus 3 in a number line, moving up 10. Take your time, be careful. 7x squared. Got 35x plus 6x, 41x, and finally plus 21.